Hello, dear viewer. Welcome to our office episode of Clandestine. I am Beranie and I'm playing with my friend Sunesha. Hey.
Hey, yeah, so we are gonna do office stuff today. I wonder if we gonna get a side quest like last time. But yeah, okay, I will speak with the boss man and see what he has to say.
Next mission may be our last. If Grishin really is the source of the leaks, our mission ends as soon as we render him to the CIA. Do you feel prepared?
Okay, I'm become aggressive.
On mercenaries, I can deal with this guy.
I'm more aggressive now.
Yeah, you're a bullet now.
Operatives I've ever worked with. But be careful. Overconfidence is the spy killer.
Martin?
Overconfidence spy killer.
First name basis with a chief.
Must have been a slip of the tongue. I wouldn't read too much into it.
So what happens when the leak is plugged?
Kingbridge is dissolved. We all go back to our day jobs. You to FSB, Sarah to SIS, Zimborski to NSA, Mansour and I to CIA. New assignments? Somewhere else.
It will be hard to get used to tech work again after this.
I'll put in a word with my FSB contact. See what he can do about getting you back in the field.
I better get on with the preparations.
Right.
Okay, cool. I actually kind of enjoy their cutscenes. I think they are. If that's one of the things that works in this game.
I agree. The dialogues are.
Yeah, it feels you are part of something bigger. Okay, so now we need to. Usually we need to speak with the Russian guy, Chipmunk, and I need to speak with you. Okay, this is weird. Okay.
Yeah, we have to go down.
We must be a weird pair on the office. We run around here all the time, and then we don't say a word to each other. But as soon as you get into your office, we can speak. It's like we. Everyone is wondering, are they talking trash about me? Because we're always quiet, running around quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think let's go.
Yeah, I remember that I'm run faster because I'm more well trained than you. You haven't taken running course A and B. I'm starting C, but you haven't done A. Yes.
I think when you're a field agent, you probably learn to run fast. Is this like a person that we have talked to now?
Yeah, no, she's just eye candy girl. I remember
Here's Chipmunk and Daniel, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
You'd no idea what you were walking into. Yet you still managed to get out of it in one piece and without too much collateral damage.
Do we know who Grishin is?
Not with complete certainty. I did some digging while you were dealing with US Customs, and I think I've got a pretty good idea of where to look. But I can't be sure until I get through the files from Wenji's laptop.
What about her then? What's her role in all this?
As far as Martin tells me, it appears that she was compromising the security of the Spectrum project, sneaking backdoors into the program, as he puts it. What for, we can only guess.
And what is your guess?
Personal profit, I would assume. Spectrum has potential to become a very powerful system, and any rogue agent with access to it would essentially have a license to print money.
You think she's just a thief?
She might have a greater goal in mind. There's no way to know.
I'm not sure I understand how we got from a British financier laundering drug money for the mafia to a Chinese hacker putting holes in an American civilian system.
Whoever Grishin is, he's the key to it all. Baxter and G both work for him. Baxter's activities fund G's operation. The only thing we don't know is what Grishin was hoping to gain from Spectrum.
It would be interesting if you was Grishin and we had to have a fight for our lives. like a bad action flick movie from the 80s where we just with punch sounds and we push each other through windows and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I can't run away from you, that's for sure.
Josiah Gray? But we have already spoken. Okay, yeah, you know where you're going, so I will follow you.
Not 100%, but I think.
I think that is my
Yeah, look at this. Here's where I live.
Okay, now we can speak.
This is my place.
So, what do you make of Spectrum?
It's impressive stuff.
Morally speaking, I mean.
I'm not surprised the NSA is funding a project like that. The alphabet agencies are very worried about recent developments in data security and encryption.
Shouldn't they be supporting better data security?
Any data not under their control is potential enemy communication. Listen, 2 years ago, we got a law in the US called the Communications Assistance for Law Enforcement Act. This was after a long, hard fight about whether encryption should be legal, the crypto wars. Now, organizations like the Electronic Frontiers Foundation won that fight. And the law states that telecom companies do not have to help the government decrypt their customers' data. As you saw in California, though, the NSA doesn't give a shit. They went ahead and started sabotaging everyone's security anyway. Projects like Spectrum is the common side of that, but they use humans too.
They have operatives inside communication corporations?
I probably shouldn't be telling an FSB officer about that.
You know you can trust me. I have no loyalty to FSB.
Well, I guess you have access to more dangerous information already. So yes, software companies and open source organizations have been infiltrated by the NSA. Mass surveillance and supercomputer decryption can only get you so far. What you
Looking in through our cameras.
You're safe nowhere.
Projects?
Uh-huh.
This is insane. If the NSA is sneaking back doors into security systems, those back doors will be available to anyone. Not just Russian or Chinese intelligence, but scammers and con artists and gangsters.
Any security flaw becomes endemic. You can't design a piece of software to be completely and utterly secure except for this one little shortcut you've left for yourself. Encryption is either 100% secure or 0% secure. The NSA and groups like it have sabotaged the basic foundations of the World Wide Web.
This is infuriating. Why aren't you angry?
I am angry. I just don't know what to do about it.
It's interesting about that thing in computer security of systems. Any exploit is a total exploit, is the rule.
Yeah.
So it's very important. It's interesting because I just read today that the US Senate voted down encryption laws. I don't. So
Yeah,
people.
the topic is so current, right?
Yeah.
It's so relevant right now. And I think basically everything bases on that law that he is talking about. I don't know if Reagan instituted that law.
Yeah,
It was the president who saw. I've heard an anecdote about that. I think it was Reagan, and he saw a movie called Cyber Wars, I think.
Yeah.
And in that movie, there's a guy who he thinks he plays a computer game, but he actually is hacking without his actual knowledge of doing so.
I saw it. That was an old movie from the 80s. Yeah, I remember that.
And
one.
he's hacking into like the missile control systems, and he's starting like.
I remember he beat the supercomputer with check 2. He put a 3 in row and crashed the computer in the ending. Yeah.
And Reagan sees that movie, and then he has a meeting the next day. Over a completely different topic, and he asks his IT specialists, okay, is that something that could happen in real life? And they look into it and they say to him, oh, it could be way worse even than it is in that movie. And then he instates that law. That's such a crazy story, man.
Yeah.
Politicians make these decisions over things that they have no idea what they.
I think politicians are more like actors. They react on feelings more than stuff. Yeah, so they are very emotionally based, and that is both a strength and a weakness. I would prefer they being more based in facts.
I agree completely.
I would, but that doesn't make very boring politicians. And I think the last thing you can say about politicians, they're never boring. They always do stupid stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Daniel, someone we have to talk to?
Yeah, is he?
Oh, you're back. How are you?
I'm good. Is something wrong?
No, it's nothing. I just had to burn an acid on my last op. Somebody I trusted. Somebody who trusted me.
That's harsh. I hope I never have to do that.
Yeah. You know, I just can't figure you out.
What is that supposed to mean?
Finally got around to reading your file. But it doesn't make any sense. Your political affiliations are completely counter to government espionage. How the hell did you end up doing this room?
If you think you're going to uncover some key fact that explains everything about me and makes my whole life make sense, you'll be disappointed. Nobody is like that.
Come on. Why did you take this job?
If I weren't here, I would probably be testing circuit boards in some lab. And there's nothing wrong with that. But once you've put your life on the line for something really important, it's hard to go back.
You're sure this outfit is worth risking your life for? It seems to me we're basically janitors cleaning up the spy community's mess.
We're saving lives. People have been killed. We're trying to stop them from killing anyone else. It doesn't get much more black and white in this business.
So, you want to be a hero?
I just want to make a difference.
Okay.
Interesting. I like this. I like this.
thought
episode.
about that with companies. In Sweden we have this problem that companies have such a respect for the police in Sweden. So they kind of give privileged information without a warrant. So the police can go fishing expeditions, for example. They can check where people was without a warrant and so on. The companies just give that information. It's a big problem, but yeah, and then it's really weird.
But that must be based on some law that they have to give that information out, or isn't it?
No, they don't have to.
Okay, but
they have to
just
if they have a subpoena or a warrant. They have to do. But the companies, they just give this information without question from the police, without a warrant or subpoena or anything.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes me a lot of piss because that means they are more or less helping the police to, if they just want to wonder where you were, they can check that without even a suspicion of a crime or something.
Yeah, I mean that opens the door to any kind of surveillance culture.
I don't think the police abuse the system, but they could, and I don't know if every policeman is honest.
No, I bet in Sweden more people are honest than anywhere else, but
I'm not sure about that. People are people.
I don't know either, yeah.
People are people, whatever race or ethnic or religion or culture, people are still people.
I agree.
There are good ones, there are bad ones, there are ugly ones, there are beautiful ones.
И взрывоопасный. То есть против брони ничуть не хуже бронебойных зарядов, а против незащищенных целей работает как экспансивная пуля.
В общем, всем хорош. А безопасен?
Ну, не для цели. То есть, разумеется, длительное обращение может навредить здоровью, но достаточно соблюдать элементарную осторожность, например, задерживать дыхание при ведении огня. И все будет в порядке.
Еще какие-нибудь побочные эффекты, о которых нужно знать?
Он отслеживается. Это главный недостаток. Обычными или бронебойными пулями может стрелять кто угодно. Если кто-то применяет объединенный уран, список подозреваемых резко сужается.
Мне надо подумать.
Я приберегу его для ваших следующих заданий, если решите, что он пригодится.
Depleted uranium bullets. That's.
Okay, cool. So we are done now. We just need to start the next mission. Yeah, I think it's always a danger where they abuse systems somehow. Way. I think it's very important that people have a right for piracy. Oh, sorry.
For piracy and privacy, yeah.
For privacy, yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. That's we're like in German it's called gläserner Benutzer is like a user made out of glass, you know?
Yeah.
Everything.
I think the problem with Sweden, we haven't been in war for 200 years. We haven't had a dictatorship. We haven't had those kind of things. So we are too trusting on our fellow man somehow. And that's both a good and a bad thing, but that's probably... Like every person in Sweden has a number. We call it a identity number, and everyone is born with it. And this identity number is used for everything. So when you have it, I know what I can go on the internet. I can see what car you have, how much money you have, and how much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's so fucked up. I can see if you have bad credits and so on. It's so fucked up.
That's I didn't know that.
And
is the case.
there's always been this way in Sweden, so I never reflected on it before I moved to Cyprus, and or when I started to do work for other people in Europe, and I discovered that this is a typical Scandinavian thing, that we keep track of our citizens in that way.
Maybe it's part of your approach to a society as a, you know, the society is more important than the single person, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. That's
probably the best description I've heard of it. Yeah, that's the general thing. Oh man, I managed to start the first mission we was on.
Yeah, that happened before.
Don't worry, it's just
I think you're right about that. In Sweden, especially, the societies come before the person.
Yeah, which is completely different. For example, in the US, I think that's the opposite.
And it is, for me personally, is a thing I don't like.
You don't like that approach of the Swedish? Okay.
I kind of enjoyed this in Cyprus because people are people, and the police can't fish, and they respect your privacy in a way where, in such a way that we, it's different in that way. There is a very big separation between state and society.
That's a good thing.
In Sweden, society is the state. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it works. We can't say it is unsuccessful, but I don't prefer it. I prefer the American way a little bit more.
I don't actually have a real educated opinion about that. I just found it interesting that there's so different approaches to society.
Yeah, it's interesting, but in most cases it works either way. It's very hard. There is things I don't like about Cyprus, but for example, crime rate is non-existent. It's just really weird. For example,
really?
my neighbor, they had somebody stole their outdoor furniture, and the police came here and they took DNA and stuff.
They took DNA for for like a little theft.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so they found people that took it and everything, because every crime that's probably one of the benefits with having a very low crime rate, that you can really take every crime serious, and I think that has a positive effect in the long run, because if you get cash just because you stole someone's outdoor furniture, your criminal career will not develop into something bigger.
No.
And I promise you, they're not very harsh, so it was probably that they have just to pay a fine and give the stuff back. But in this society, that's a lot of shame, I think, to be. So it's very in Sweden. You go to the police just to have proof for the insurance company. That's how it works in Sweden for those kind of things.
Same in Germany. Yeah. No way they would really look up close for DNA evidence and pursue that. Never in Germany.
Oh man, I got a lot of stuff this time.
Items or?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I would take.
So when we start this next mission, we're probably gonna start a cutscene that we will put in front of the next episode, right? So we should say bye before we start it, I think.
Yeah. I took nerve gas this time around because...
Cool. Nerve gas, you depleted uranium rounds, that's some heavy... That's some heavy...
Yeah, I want radioactive... I want them to die by bullet wounds.
Yeah, slow and
painful.
Nerve gas is probably the kind of gas that got permitted to use, like
I think it's not allowed by the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But we can use it. We're spies. We can do everything.
we do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
And we have become... We once nice, and then we just got worse. Okay, I will launch the mission here. Week after California.
Identified Grisham. Are you all sitting down? Good.
It's Martin.
Что издеваетесь?
Meet Christopher Grisham.
He doesn't look like me.
U.S. Navy SEAL. Almost certainly former CIA, based on the authorization codes his Navy records were buried under. Completely off the grid for the past 20 years.
Christopher, the guy who helped us in Warsaw?
That's him. He was right under our nose. We could have grabbed him at the party.
Yes, if we had known then what we know now. But that knowledge was hard-earned.
If he was working with Baxter, why would he help Katja corner him?
You said it yourself. He thought I was just some hustler. He knew Baxter was gay, and he thought I was just a honeypot.
Do we have his location?
Yes. Grisham is an incredibly hard target. But we managed it. We've tracked him to a safe house in Paris.
Grisham's hideout demonstrates a certain sense of the dramatic. He's using an old estate abandoned when its Jewish owners fled the Nazis. We've had eyes on it for the past 2 weeks, and we've confirmed that it's still active. Grisham has tickets to Paris this weekend. He'll be there. This is actionable intelligence.
I'll grab him.
No, I need you elsewhere.
What could possibly be more important than Grisham?
You can't bet it all on this lead. It's not a question of importance. Your skill set is more suited for another operation. Katja and Martin will handle Paris.
Grisham sounds like he's a very dangerous person.
Grisham has received the best training the U.S. government can provide, and he is highly experienced. Do not attempt to neutralize him yourself. Find him, identify him, and hold him there until our extraction team arrives.
What extraction team?
We've worked out a deal with a team of French contractors, former BFST.
Can we trust them?
Their leader is Frederic Bousson.
Best friend stopped. Oh yeah, okay. Some French people will help us. Mercenaries, that's a little bit weird, I think.
Yeah.
I
It's...
thought we had our own team of those kind of people.
Why not just send Busson's team in to get Grisham?
I trust Bousson, but I trust you more. I want a positive ID before we send in the extraction team. Your objectives are simple, but remember what's at stake. Check on the local assets, then carefully move in and search the premises for Grisham. Once you have an ID, we'll send in the team to extract you both.
And on the off chance he's not there?
Secure all intel at the site and exfiltrate with Martin.
Okay, cool.
Is Grisham going to be alone?
It's not possible to predict what sort of resistance you'll meet. So we're taking all necessary precautions. One major concern is that Grisham seems to be on KS Global's payroll, but we don't know what for.
The mercenaries from California. Makes sense. Not an uncommon career path for a man with his training and experience. And it explains why Vanjie got them the security contract for Cerulean.
Precisely my line of thinking.
We have nerve gas and radioactive bullets, so I think we can handle ourselves.
Yeah.
We won't know until he disembarks in Paris.
I guess there's little to gain from a low-profile entry.
If any bystanders see you sneaking around with a gun and a combat vest and call the police, we'll have to abort. We simply cannot risk the gendarmes showing up with their sirens blaring and scaring Grisham away. If you dress down, you'll have nothing to fear as long as you're outside the mansion. But of course, the lack of protection could be a problem if you meet resistance inside.
This is a big one then. Better get ready.
Your flight leaves tomorrow. We'll re-establish contact once you're on site. As always, good luck to you all.
It's an interesting choice the game has made, that they make me choose equipment before the mission and even before I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah, because I will now I went heavy this time, but maybe I will not make that choice. I will if I. It seems like we're gonna need a lot of firepower. They are talking.
So did you choose a combat vest and something that is visible?
No, I went with low profile because I remember when I went into the office in my combat gear.
Well, I don't know what it's there for then. Maybe you can be invisible and use it. On some missions, probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think that we'll put this cutscene before the next episode. We can leave it where it is, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
At the end of this episode. Cool.
That's not my call sign.
Okay,
I like
cool.
that. I like that HQ mission episode.
No sign of
Yeah.
Ace, the cops are keeping out civilians. They bought the gas thing, and the fireworks will cover up any gunfire. You should check with the support teams before you enter the man.
So they said that this might be our last mission. I don't think that's the case, but
No, usually
We're closing
isn't
in.
because the bad guy will escape or something.
yeah, the French mercenaries.
And then we have the
will-
Chinese vampire that we killed, but everyone thinks he is alive. So
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
cool.
That will be interesting next week. That will
Yeah.
really be interesting.
Yeah. See if the Chinese hacker comes to life. That would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
Then see you again next week. And thanks
Okay.
for watching.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.